Have you ever found yourself pausing midday, gently pressing your hand into your lower back, silently wishing the discomfort would just melt away? You're not alone and you're not imagining things. Lower back pain, it isn't just a sign of aging. It's your body's quiet cry for change, for care, for movement. But here's something no one tells you. It's not always about doing more. It's about doing it smarter. In today's video, I'm not just going to show you 5 exercises to relieve lower back pain. You've probably seen those before. Instead, I'm giving you 5 familiar movements reimagined with fresh, science-backed insight designed specifically for aging bodies over 60. These aren't just stretches. They're gentle tools to reconnect your brain, spine, and stability, the trio that keeps you standing tall, sleeping soundly, and living fully. By the end of this video, you'll understand not only what to do, but why it works and how just a few mindful minutes each day can transform how your back feels and how you move through life. Stick with me. You might just discover that your best years of movement are not behind you. They're starting now. Before we get started, drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Exercise 1. Pelvic tilt, the spine reawakener. The pelvic tilt might look simple, almost too simple, but it's one of the most powerful movements you can give your lower back. What makes it special isn't strength or flexibility, it's awareness. You're not just moving your hips, you're reawakening the communication between your brain, your spine, and your core. See, as we age, our bodies start to forget certain movements. The small, stabilizing muscles around the spine, the ones that quietly hold us upright, tend to shut down when we sit for long hours or move less. The pelvic tilt acts like a soft reboot. Each gentle motion signals your nervous system to reconnect those sleeping muscles. It also helps align the pelvis, the foundation of every movement you make from walking to standing up from a chair. When your pelvis learns to move freely again, pressure on your lower vertebrae decreases, pain subsides, and your posture naturally improves. Think of it as teaching your body how to move young again, without pushing, without strain. This is not a stretch of force, it's a conversation with your spine, slow, mindful, and deeply healing. If you've been living with stiffness or that dull morning ache, this simple motion can be the quiet key that unlocks your mobility again. How to do it? Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Rest your hands gently on your pelvis so you can feel the movement. Take a slow breath in through your nose. As you exhale, tilt your pelvis backward, gently press your lower back into the floor as if you were trying to flatten it. Feel your abdominal muscles engage slightly. Then inhale again and return your pelvis to the starting position. Don't lift your glutes. Keep the motion small, slow, and controlled. Repeat this motion 10 times, breathing naturally and staying aware of the connection between your breath and your movement. If you want to take it further, try closing your eyes. Feel how your lower back slowly warms up, how each repetition feels smoother than the last. This isn't about perfection, it's about reconnection. With every tilt, you're not just moving your body, you're reminding it how to heal. Exercise 2. Glute bridge, the hip lifeline. The glute bridge isn't just a back exercise. It's a lifeline for your hips, spine, and overall vitality. In fact, if I had to choose only one movement to support active aging, this would be a top contender. Here's why: the glutes are the body's engine for movement. But as we age, especially after 60, they begin to switch off due to years of sitting, poor posture, or even chronic pain. This doesn't just affect how strong you feel, it affects your balance, your walking gait, and even how much pressure your spine is absorbing every time you stand or sit. The glute bridge helps reverse that decline. With each lift, you're reactivating the largest and most powerful muscle group in your body. You're giving your lower back a break by shifting the workload to where it belongs, your hips and thighs. Scientifically, this movement also stimulates the posterior chain, a network of muscles that protects your spine, stabilizes your pelvis, and prevents falls. And for older adults, that's critical. But perhaps most important, This exercise gives you back the power to rise literally and metaphorically, to rise from a chair, to rise from a low moment, to rise into your day with strength and intention. How to do it. Lie on your back with knees bent and feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Let your arms relax by your sides. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently press your feet into the floor and begin to lift your hips. Start by lifting your glutes, then your spine one vertebra at a time until your body forms a straight line from shoulders to knees. At the top, squeeze your glutes, gently hold for 2 to 3 seconds. You don't need to push high, just enough to feel your hips working and your back relaxing. Slowly inhale as you lower back down one vertebra at a time until your spine fully rests on the floor. Repeat this motion 8-10 times, moving with your breath. If this feels too challenging at first, you can place a small pillow under your lower back for support. Remember, this is about building strength from within. Each repetition helps you stand taller, move steadier, and live more confidently. Exercise 3. Single knee to chest. The back soother. This gentle motion might seem quiet, but it speaks volumes to your lower back, your hips, and your nervous system. The single knee to chest stretch is often dismissed as a basic move, but in truth it acts like a soft reset for the spine, especially the lumbar region that absorbs so much of life's tension. It gently decompresses the vertebrae, opens up the hip flexors, and reduces pressure on the sciatic nerve, often the culprit behind that stubborn ache that runs from your back down your leg. But here's the hidden power this stretch. It also helps restore diaphragmatic breathing in a lying position, especially useful for older adults who may unknowingly hold tension in their abdomen or chest. When your breath deepens, your muscles relax. Your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. Healing begins. What's even more exciting? Studies show that this stretch improves circulation to the lower spine and pelvic area, aiding in recovery, flexibility, and even digestion. It's not just about the stretch, it's about letting go. Letting go of tightness, fear of movement, and that quiet hesitation that says, what if it hurts? This is your body's invitation to release, realign, and begin again gently, one breath at a time. How to do it. Lie flat on your back with both legs extended. Slowly bend your right knee and bring it toward your chest. Wrap your hands just below the knee, either behind the thigh or on the shin, wherever is more comfortable. Avoid pulling on the knee joint itself. As you exhale, gently draw the knee closer toward your chest. Don't force. Let gravity and your breath do the work. Hold this position for 15 to 20 seconds, breathing slowly and deeply. Feel your lower back lengthen and soften into the floor. Then gently release the leg and return it to the ground. Repeat the same motion with the left leg. Complete 2-3 rounds on each side. If lying flat is uncomfortable, you can bend the opposite leg and plant the foot on the floor for support. This is your moment of pause, a time to reconnect, breathe deeper, and feel safe in your movement again. There's strength in stillness. And with each repetition, you're teaching your body that gentle movement is not only possible, it's powerful. Exercise 4, Piriformis stretch, the sciatic release. There's a small, deep muscle in your backside called the piriformis, and when it tightens or becomes inflamed, it can press against your sciatic nerve, triggering pain that travels from your hip down your leg. You might feel it as a dull ache or sometimes a sharp twinge just from getting out of bed. This stretch directly targets that muscle. But more than that, it reclaims space. Space in your hips, space in your pelvis, space in your nervous system to breathe again. Unlike larger, more obvious stretches, this one works in the shadows, which is why it's so often overlooked. But for aging adults, especially those who sit frequently or experience hip stiffness, this small movement can unlock tremendous relief. Recent studies have linked piriformis tension with gait instability, which contributes to falls in older adults. Releasing it may not just reduce pain, it could literally help you walk safer and steadier. Think of it like clearing a traffic jam around your sciatic nerve. The relief is real, the freedom is noticeable, And the best part, you don't need to push or pull aggressively. The Piriformis listens best to calm intentional movement. Let it unwind. Let it go. How to do it? Lie on your back with knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Slowly lift your right foot and place the outer edge of your right ankle just above the left knee, forming a figure four shape. If this position alone gives you a stretch in the right hip and glute, stay here and breathe. Otherwise, gently lift your left leg off the ground, bringing your left thigh towards your chest. Thread your right hand through the space between your legs and clasp your hands behind your left thigh. Use your arms to softly draw the left leg closer. You should feel a deep stretch in the right hip and outer glute. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds, breathing deeply. Then slowly release and switch sides. Repeat 2 to 3 times on each side. If your hips or knees feel sensitive, try doing this seated in a sturdy chair with one ankle resting on the opposite thigh. There's no rush. This stretch is about invitation, not intensity. Let your body open at its own pace and discover how even small releases can bring big relief. Exercise 5, hamstring. Stretch, the posterior chain reset. Your hamstrings, the long muscles running down the back of your thighs, do more than just help you walk or bend over. They're part of a powerful system called the posterior chain, which includes your calves, glutes, and lower back. When this chain tightens, especially the hamstrings, it silently pulls on your pelvis, tugs your spine out of alignment, and contributes to that deep, nagging lower back pain. But here's the surprising truth. Most people don't have short hamstrings. They have inactive ones. Over time, especially after 60, these muscles can lose elasticity, not from age alone, but from underuse and shallow movement patterns. This stretch works like a gentle reset, waking up those sleepy muscles, improving blood flow, and restoring balance across your entire back body system. And even better, it activates tiny sensory receptors in your muscles and tendons called muscle spindles, which teach your brain to trust movement again. This isn't about touching your toes. It's about restoring your posture, protecting your spine, and giving your body the flexibility it remembers and still deserves. With each breath and stretch, you're not just lengthening a muscle, you're lengthening your ability to move through life with more grace, less tension, and greater confidence. How to do it? Lie on your back with both legs extended. Gently bend your right knee toward your chest. Place your hands behind your right thigh, either clasped or just resting there. From here, slowly extend your right foot upward toward the ceiling. Your leg doesn't need to be straight. Just move until you feel a comfortable stretch in the back of your thigh. Flex your foot by pulling your toes toward your face. This increases the stretch and activates more of the posterior chain. Hold for 15 to 20 seconds, breathing slowly and evenly. Then gently bend the knee and return the leg to the floor. Repeat with the left leg. Do 2 to 3 rounds per side. If lying down is difficult, this stretch can also be done seated in a sturdy chair. Just extend one leg forward with the heel on the floor and gently lean forward from the hips. No bouncing, no forcing, just a quiet, steady invitation for your muscles to return to the length, freedom, and support they were designed to offer you every single day. Practical advice for older adults. Start small and stay consistent. Instead of pushing for perfection, focus on how your body feels during each movement. 2 exercises in the morning and 2 before bed can create powerful change, no gym required. If you experience dizziness, try doing the exercises after a light meal and stay hydrated. Use a chair, pillow, or wall for support when needed. Remember, progress isn't measured by how far you stretch, but by how often you show up. Your body listens to consistency more than intensity, so be gentle but don't stop. You moved, you reclaimed, you rise. You didn't just stretch. Today, you reclaimed something deeply personal, your ability to move with ease on your terms. And that's worth celebrating. Lower back pain can feel like a thief in slow motion, quietly stealing the joy of everyday moments, walking without wincing, reaching without fear, or sleeping through the night. But what you did in these last few minutes, you stood up to it, gently, powerfully. Each exercise you practiced wasn't just for flexibility, it was a message to your nervous system, your joints, and your spirit. And I'm not done growing. Remember, movement is not about youth, it's about freedom. And freedom doesn't retire at 60. In fact, this chapter might just be your most intentional, most empowered yet. So keep this video bookmarked. Come back to it often. Let it be your gentle reset whenever the world feels heavy or your body feels tight. And if this brought you any value, leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear what shifted for you or what you're still working through. We're not just stretching, we're building a culture of active aging together because healing happens in motion, and motion is your birthright. See you in the next video, my friend. Keep rising. The information in this video is intended for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your physician or a qualified health provider before starting any new exercise routine, especially if you have existing medical conditions or concerns. The creators of this content are not liable for any injuries or health issues that may result. Your health is unique. Please listen to your body and seek personalized care when needed.